you're in the right place. This is the Eatfluencer Podcast, and I'm your host, Dr. Maggie Landis. Together, we are going to unpack everything about eating and discover the what, when, and how that will let you lead your best life. This is not your doctor's conversation about nutrition. Today is when you can start to love eating again. Let food be food and you be you. Get ready to get eatfluenced. Well, hello there. Did you forget who I was? It's been a minute, friends. You're listening to the Eatfluencer Podcast. I'm Maggie Landis, and we are on episode 80 today. This is going to be a little different. I say that a lot, but this one really is going to be different. I hope that you are here because you're one of my regular returning listeners. Because if this is the first time you've tuned in, you're going to think this is super, super weird. But if you're brand new, welcome. I'm not trying to uninvite you, but I don't think you should listen to this episode just yet. If you are brand new, go back, pick any of my previous 79 episodes, get to know me a little better, hear from some of my awesome guests, and then you can come back and listen to this to get an update, because we are talking about where did you go, what happened, and what is coming, right? I wanted to record this episode as a little update for my regular listeners, because you may have wondered after episode 79, which broadcast June 7th, where the heck did I go? Did she die? Did she fall off the face of the earth? Did she stop podcasting? What happened? So I did plan to take a little summer break, but I did not plan to completely vanish and ghost all of you. I ended up getting COVID pneumonia, and it has kicked me on my can. I'm still, honestly, you can probably tell from my voice, I'm still not even completely recovered, and it has been now almost 5 weeks, which I know in the big picture is not long, but this was not how I was expecting to spend half of my summer. So I apologize for abandoning you, but this is just what happened. So I've taken it for what it is. I can either look at it as an obstacle or an opportunity, like I do with everything. And don't get me wrong, I'm not hopelessly optimistic, but I would say that I'm realistic, and I can either pick up and keep moving, or I can just be stuck and feel sorry for myself. So that being said, I've decided to do something sort of productive with this forced break, pause, scale back recovery period, to think about what I'm doing with not only my podcast content, but in my business overall, in my career. I've been doing this now for almost 2 years. So, there's a lot of clarity that can come when you just withdraw yourself from all the day-to-day activity and the beehive and the kind of noise. And I feel like with this forced break and really understanding that my personal resources are limited, I need to pick and choose deliberately where I'm going to put effort in. And it feels better that way, honestly. So I'm thankful for the break, and I'm not completely back yet, but I want to give you this short little update episode to make things totally explicit and totally clear. It's saying it out loud helps me as much as hopefully it helps you. But the additional benefit is that our community can become more connected and committed, because you will know exactly why you're here and why I'm here and why everybody else is also here. And having a very laser focused purpose will keep information from being overwhelming, from my business model, from being confusing, or any of the things that I think perhaps they have become and I don't want them to be. Because I have this issue, and many of you probably relate to this. It's like being a multi-passionate, manic person. And I'm always plagued by the idea that if I can do something, I should do it. I'm the yes person. I'm the let's go, let's do this, take on more things, try something new. And that's good, I guess, to a degree, being open-minded and curious and energetic. But it doesn't usually end well when you try to do everything. At least it doesn't end well in terms of efficiency, for sure. And I get real excitable and I jump in on a lot of things. And then, all I can imagine is that people following me and trying to keep up, excuse me, I feel like are like those cans tied to the bumper of the just married car. Like there's all this enthusiasm and it's a big party, and then when you take off, it's like everybody's just swinging around and accelerating and bouncing back and forth and getting tangled up and eventually just falling off because it's too much. So I want to share what I'm thinking like with you. This is like inside the mind of Maggie, so that you can not have any confusion and decide if you are really, really interested and invested in the topics that I am going to be leaning into. And if you are, where you can find me and how to do that. If you're not interested, this also will make, clear that this maybe is not the place where you want to hang out anymore. And that is okay too. We just need to have clarity. No more muddy waters. All right. So I'm going to go through some of my thoughts and some of the changes that are coming in an attempt to not be real like rambly and stuff like that. I did make a little bulleted list because who doesn't love a bulleted list? But I want you to imagine coming over to my house, sitting down at the kitchen table, chatting about what's going on. That's really what I want this to feel like. Okay. So here we go. All right. The first thing is I am asked a lot, what are you doing? Are you a doctor? Are you practicing medicine? Are you a nutritionist? Are you a public health professional? Are you a coach? Are you a speaker? Are you a content creator? Are you a this, a that, or that? Yes, but I don't want you to think of me with all those like kind of credentials. I want you to think of me as a educator and a advocate for change. And this is a mission-driven way of thinking. What is the mission? Well, it's kind of twofold, two-pronged, all right? The first main central reason that I get up in the morning and quit my full-time job and do this work day in and day out is because I want to disrupt, dismantle the culture of weight stigma in healthcare. And that is going to most directly happen by educating health professionals, health professional organizations, and supporting them in adopting a weight neutral approach to their discipline. Okay. But that is a big tree to shake. That is decades and decades and decades of weight stigma and weight-centered thinking to undo. It's going to take me a hot minute. And I'm not arrogant to think that I'm the only one doing this. This is going to take a, group of people being vocal, being advocates, being present and visible and making changes. We're trying to change an entire professional culture. That's a big deal. And I hope that you will support me in doing that. But in the shorter term, until we can affect those big changes, I want to educate and equip patients like you, regular people, how to navigate and be resilient in what we know is an adverse clinical environment so that you can go to the doctor, go to the physical therapist, go to the dietitian, wherever you are going in the healthcare sector, understand fact from myth, accept your body, start learning the real evidence-based information about how your body works, especially in regards to nutrition and weight regulation and all those things. Do it in a weight neutral way, feel confident, and continue to participate in your own healthcare. Okay, that's how, in the meantime, while we're changing the system, I still need you to participate in the system because no healthcare is the worst kind of healthcare. And I want you to go and I want you to feel equipped to be confident and advocate for yourself and have the least amount of damage done while you are participating in this, what we know is damaging, toxic environment. Okay, so hopefully that's clear what I'm doing, all right? And where and in what form am I doing these things? Okay, well, number one, Yes, the podcast is continuing. Yes, it is. I love podcasting, really. And I'm going to lean into this format even more because I think it's a great vehicle for disseminating information, educating, entertaining, all those things. But when I come back from this little hiatus, I'm expecting probably early September. I don't have an exact date, but probably about 6 weeks from now or so. Expect some changes, including this podcast is getting a brand new name, new branding, new cover art, new energy, like more science and fact checking, but it won't be complicated or heavy or exceptionally nerdy. It is also going to be sarcastic and tongue-in-cheek and relatable because we have to sometimes laugh at these places where we are stuck or we will only cry about our existence. It's honestly going to be a lot more Maggie. I mean, think of, if you're a fan of the Maintenance Phase podcast, which I'm a mega fan of course, I cannot replicate the dynamic that they have on that show with Audrey and Michael. But think of it going to be sort of Maintenance Phase-esque with cleaner language. And I think the level of energy will be really exciting. I am going to do some solo episodes, some guest episodes, all the details to come. But I think you're going to really like it. And the best way to know that you will be there when these things happen is subscribe to my podcast now. I'm pretty sure. Gosh, I hope it's true. But I think if you subscribe now, even if I change the name and the artwork and stuff, the title, it will keep downloading to your podcast player. I'm pretty sure. Okay, I hope it is. Don't tell me if it's not, because I'll be upset. But that's the plan. All right, so stick around for new things to come on the podcast. Also, I'm going to get back into writing. I love short form, kind of blog style essay writing, and I've always loved it. I've always been told I was good at it. I just kind of never made it a priority to do that, but I do think it's a great vehicle for information, and I want to have everything in a kind of landing place where it's continuously available. What that looks like, I'm not sure. Might be a blog, might be on my Medium account, might be like a newsletter vault of sorts. I'm not sure. To be determined. But if you also are a person who likes to read and share written word and learn that way, I think you're going to be in for a treat. Social media. Okay, first of all, my private Facebook group, the Diet Disruptors, is still growing and still active, and I would love to invite any of you that are not already there to come. It is like a big kitchen table, all right? And I'm the moderator, but really it is a protected, safe place to answer questions, ask questions, share stories, ask for support, call out diet culture when you see it, facilitate discussions. It's a protected place, and no diet talk, none of that stuff that you get stuck seeing in other nutrition groups where they're doing before and after pictures and challenges and all that blah blah blah. None of that. Zero. Completely Haze aligned. But I will tell you, I'm not going to be using that group for new content delivery. It's more going to be just a medium to access each other and have a community and have a landing place and have private access to me. But I cannot deliver new content there and on all the other places that I want to be, especially for free. I just can't continue to do that. So it's going to change the way it feels, but actually I think it will become more clear what the purpose is. And the women that are active in there, I think really are getting lots of support and enjoy it. And I hope you'll join us. Okay. Other social media things that are coming for me. I am active on Instagram, and I am going to claw my way back to being more present now that I'm recovering from my illness. But no more chasing the algorithm. I'm not playing around trying to get followers and analytics and shares and saves and all this sort of stuff. I am no longer going to second guess what I'm saying, because I know what I'm saying. I know what I want to say, and I know it's valuable, and it's values driven and not vanity driven. And I don't actually care what Instagram as a platform thinks about it. All right. The people who need to hear it will find me, and they will love it, and they will share it with other people that need to hear it. And that is all that my point of being there is. All right. I also am going to hesitate to say this, but I'm going to branch out and start using LinkedIn some. I really am reticent to go to one more place, because aren't we all tired of going to one more place? But really stepping back and thinking about these issues that I want to address in weight stigma in healthcare, these big culturally concerning large issues, I need to get in front of the right people. I need to get in front of the health professionals themselves, the healthcare organizations who continue to misrepresent human biology and continue to facilitate this biased way of clinical practice. I need to be near the people with the big stages and the big microphones and the big decision-making power. And I'm going to become more active there. Now, I'm just baby starter LinkedIn. I don't even know how to do it or anything. I'm Googling YouTube videos and stuff. So if you happen to be there, I would love to connect with you. Is that the word? Connect, follow, network, I don't know what the word is. I mean, that's how naive I'm about all this thing, but help a sister out. Support me on LinkedIn. I'm learning the ropes, and hopefully we'll be able to use that platform, to get this big message that we all want to get out there to the big places where it needs to be. All right. And then people ask me, are you taking new clients? Do you have a program? Can people work with you? And you know what? Yes. And this is 100% on me to have fallen down in terms of making this clear. I am really sorry that it has felt scrambled and frazzled and confusing and not clear what I do and for whom I do it. That is going to change. And at the risk of sounding salesy, I'm not trying to sound salesy. Listen, and I don't do this, ever on this podcast, but I am going to right here lay out what I do right now and how you can participate with me. All right. And then I'm going to give you a little teaser about what's coming down the road. First of all, if you are not a health professional, okay, I have offers for health professionals and for not health professionals. So if you are not a health professional, there's 3 things I'm doing right now that might be of interest to you. Number 1, I have an on-demand workshop called Getting Care Out of Your Healthcare, and it is always available. It is on my website on the very front page, if you find it there. It is a 75-minute workshop where I walk you through the strategy of picking a doctor, preparing for a visit, knowing that it's not going to be a health at every size doctor, how to negotiate the office, deal with the scale, ask the right questions, get the information, and then process the whole experience afterwards with the least harm done. That is what, like I said, my mission is for people. In the meantime, while I try to fix the system, I need you to stay in the system. And this is a really great offer if you are avoiding the doctor, canceling appointments, kicking the can down the street, trying to not be hassled. There's all kinds of information about it on my website. Like I said, I think this is a great program. You would enjoy it. It's $47. That is it. And it's available anytime. All right. Number 2, if you're not a professional, every month, starting last month, I started this idea right before I got COVID. It wasn't that convenient. Talk with a Doc monthly workshop. And so once a month, I am doing a live workshop, 1-hour workshop live, where we have an in-depth conversation, teaching, question and answers, on-the-spot coaching about a specific topic. And there's no frills, no workbook, no worksheets, no email sequence, no launch, nothing, no crazy marketing schemes. I'm offering this opportunity to learn about the topics you want to learn about and pick and choose when you want to learn about those. And then that's it. And then it's over. All right. $24. That is it. And there's a pay what you can option. So $24 is the most you will pay. You can even pay less if you want. But I want these important questions to get answered with efficiency. And when the week of registration opens up right before the talk, it will be on my website, my link in bio on Instagram, things like that. So, just hang tight. The July date is going to be announced in the next few days, so keep checking back, and my email list will find out about it too. So that's another place you can be. Then the third opportunity I have for people that are not professionals is I do take a limited number of one-on-one clients to do a micro coaching experience with me. Now, you may not even know what that is. You know what it is, you just don't know that it's called micro coaching. But this is like small, nearly real-time snippets of feedback, support, questions answered, and I use Voxer voice messages to do this. So essentially you get support and solutions like in the time when you need them. You're not like waiting with this list of questions for a week or two for us to have a 1 hour long session. Like this is how athletes are coached. This is how, you would get feedback from a project partner in a work environment. You don't like work on a project together and not talk for 10 days and then talk for 90 minutes straight. I mean, I guess you can, but that's not the most efficient way to do it. The most efficient way, if you're like working on it every day, is to have 10 minutes of feedback every day. Like, little bits like, here, I want to teach you how to swing a golf club. So, bend your knees. Now take a few more shots. Okay, now that you've done that, now we can talk about where to put your shoulders and like that sort of situation. You don't watch somebody swing the golf club for 90 minutes and then tell them, in 2 weeks, you'll tell them how it went. Okay. Now this is a labor intensive, very intimate interaction. And so I can only take a limited number of people, and I don't advertise heavily for this offer because I just, like I said, it's limited. But it is totally within reason, $87 a week to have this like basic continuous access and support from me. So if you're interested in that, send me a message and we'll talk some more. Now, I want to talk to the health professionals, okay? If you are a health professional who considers yourself already health at every size aligned, and I know that I have a lot of people in my audience who are dietitians, health coaches, therapists, intuitive eating counselors, all sorts of, HAES professionals, non-diet professionals. The way that I can serve you is by doing a guest workshop with your audience in your container, okay? Whether that's your private community, your Facebook group, a coaching program you're running, a group of, VIP one-on-one clients you have, however you want to organize the group is fine by me. And here's the benefit of having me come in and do a one-off session with those people. I know you know as much about weight neutrality and HAES as I do, but your audience sometimes needs to hear it from a doctor because otherwise they get derailed. Okay. You're working so hard with these clients and then they go to the doctor, get weight shamed, get diagnosed with diabetes, get put on a diet, whatever it is, and they come completely unglued, and you have to spend all this time convincing them that no, that doctor doesn't know what they're talking about in this situation, and that's not, weight neutrality is a real thing, and we can approach, chronic disease without dieting. You have to do a lot of convincing because it is hard for people to accept that their doctor might be wrong, at least in some regards. So having me as the medical doctor expert in weight neutral care, bypasses that problem because they know with certainty, no, that's right. Medical doctors believe this. They understand the science. This is fine. And what so-and-so, my intuitive eating counselor, what my group coach is telling me, I can believe it and I can keep moving forward because I want them to not be set so far back when they do see a doctor. All right. So that's how I can serve you. And if that sounds like something that you'd like to offer to your group, let's talk about how we can make that look because it can be in a variety of formats. Now, if you're a health professional or a health professional student, but you're what I call health at every size curious. Like maybe you're here because you've heard about this intuitive eating, heard about this weight neutral thing, heard about the non-diet kind of talk, but not really fully in because you're still learning and implementing and making change and thinking about change. I have an online course for you that is called Take Your Practice Off the Charts. It is designed exactly for those individuals. It's a comprehensive self-paced course, but it does have some private interaction with me, and I will walk you through the steps of transitioning from a weight-centered to a weight-neutral approach in your specialty. Now, I'm not going to teach you how to be a physical therapist or a chiropractor or a dietitian because that's not what I do, but I guarantee you the strategy of weight-neutral care, the way that you have to approach that, the mindset and the actual like boots on the ground things you have to do are the same no matter what your clinical specialty is. And so if this sounds like it might meet your needs, let me know about that and we'll talk about how I can give you more information. All right. So that's what I do. So I do stuff, and I'm sorry that I have not made it like clear. Like that's kind of embarrassing, honestly, but water under the bridge. It is what it is. The best place to learn about anything is to jump on my email list. And if you sign up for any of the free resources that are available on my website, maggielandismd.com, you will get on my list. I send really infrequent email, like probably dangerously infrequent email. I, in my head, send email 2 to 3 times a month, and it probably ends up being like once a month, maybe twice a month. But trust me, it is not like some sort of like overkill, spammy garbage filling up your inbox. That is just not my style. I have no desire to do that. I have no bandwidth for that. So it is a safe place to be on my email list if you want to get information and not be overwhelmed. Okay. That ended up being more than I thought. Golly, I just cannot be succinct. It doesn't matter what I do. But I hope this brings some clarity and some, sort of enthusiasm to where I'm going, what happened to me. I'm okay. I'm recovering from COVID. I need a little bit more time to not only recover fully, but also to get going in a singular laser-focused direction. And I hope that you'll join me. Our community is going to be more aligned, more fiery and passionate and committed to each other and to the mission than we have ever been before. And I'm looking forward to it. I hope you join me. The show notes are going to have some clickable links for all these things I talked about if you're interested in perusing that. But subscribe to the podcast so that you can get it when it drops in season 3 in about 6-ish weeks in September with a new name, new energy, new episodes. I look forward to seeing you there. So take care of yourself. Stay safe from this COVID. It is no joke. And stop by on social media. Say hi to me when you're there. All right. I look forward to hearing from you all soon.
Thank you so much for being here today. If you love what you've learned, follow me on social media at MaggieLandisMD, and you'll never miss a thing. You can also check out my website at MaggieLandisMD.com and sign up to be part of our community of eaters. Thanks again for stopping by. We'll talk again soon.